about caring for aging parents. Grab your phones and join the conversation. We're talking about this important topic.
Plus, earlier this year, you may have heard the president wanted to add a citizenship question on the U.S. Census form for 2020, but then the Supreme Court shot that down. So why now are there claims that that question will indeed be on the 2020 census? We'll verify it tonight. This is News Center Now.
Everyone, and thanks for being with us. I'm Lindsay Mills.
And I'm Lee Nelson. This evening we are talking about caring for aging parents. It's something a lot of us will experience at some point, and in Maine perhaps you're already at that point because a fifth of the population is 65 or older.
With a worker shortage, there aren't enough people to fill the demand for caretaking jobs, not to mention nursing homes in the state are closing at an alarming rate. So many people are providing care at home for their own parents 24/7.
After she had her first chemo, she got really sick, and she was also hospitalized, which was very scary.
Kendra Lovejoy spends most of her day with her 81-year-old mom.
There's good days and there's bad days.
I get one done.
She moved in 6 years ago. Lovejoy says she is fortunate that she's able to work from home, but caring for an aging parent is difficult. Her mom has dementia.
You see your mom like this and it's devastating, you know, it just breaks my heart.
Her mom is also in remission from breast cancer. Lovejoy recently started looking for in-home care assistance.
Because she can bathe herself, because she can walk, and because she can dress herself, she doesn't qualify.
Lovejoy says she doesn't know what else to do and she can't afford private help. Her focus isn't just on finding help in the short term, but down the road too.
What if something happens to me? What if I'm sick?
And she was sick not long ago. Lovejoy is 3 years in remission from thyroid cancer. She has talked about the possibility of finding a nursing home or assisted living facility if she were to get sick again. But she's concerned there's no guarantee the one they choose will stay open.
Nursing homes are closing, and they're all because there's no workers to be had. Trying to look for the fence.
Lovejoy enjoys helping her mom find the right pieces to the latest puzzle they're working on. But she's puzzled herself, not knowing where to find the help she needs now.
Why wait until you actually need somebody to come in?
And joining us now to talk more about the resources that are available is Doug Wilson. He is the resources specialist at the Southern Maine Agency on Aging. Doug, thanks for being with us tonight.
Thanks for having me.
We're seeing a shortage of workers for these jobs, and then we're also seeing an increase in the aging population of our state. So how is this impacting our state?
Well, it's a huge impact, and it's a very critical and important conversation. I think part of it requires that folks spend a little time thinking about their needs of their loved ones and take that time to look at what resources are available in the state. There are, in fact, through the area agencies on aging, opportunities to get connected with family caregiver support specialists and others that can help families find the right resources.
Well, what are the kinds of things that they can help with?
Well, certainly for family caregivers, finding whether or not the loved one does qualify for certain benefits, so benefits checkup. There are support groups that are available for family caregivers. There are classes that are offered for the family caregivers. And there are also out there in the community a number of resources that folks might not know about. So Maine leads the nation now in the number of age-friendly or livable communities,
Really?
lifelong communities, absolutely. Volunteer efforts that are out there that folks may not be aware of that could help with some of those caregiving things like transportation, helping get folks to and there are also respite programs available for caregivers. There are funds available for that. So there's a lot that folks can do.
Great.
Despite the fact that we have a very complex problem called the shortage of direct care workers.
You bring up the classes, and in Kendra's case, they also brought up they're exploring the Muskie Center, which is local near them. They actually send transportation to come pick up a person, bring them there. How important is that social interaction?
Oh, it's critically important.
Yeah.
You know, the Surgeon General of the United States says that social isolation is as much of a health problem as the equivalent of smoking 17 cigarettes a day.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
That's a huge issue.
So how about somebody who has some level of independence, but it's just best if they move in with you? You're caring for them. There are some. Are there some opportunities for part-time care?
There are. It's one of the things that there is now a state commission that's been assembled through the work of the Maine Council on Aging, legislative type commission that's going to look at innovative ways to provide that kind of direct care supplement, if you will.
Okay.
What are some innovative and creative ways that we can address this problem? Because there is clearly a shortage, and we are getting older. Each one of us is aging.
Well,
every
I'm
day.
not, but everybody else is.
Right.
That's going to have to do it, but thank you so much for being with us this evening.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Very good. All right, we're turning out to the forecast to see what's cooking for the weekend. What's up, Jess?
Hey guys, it looks like it's going to be an okay weekend. I wish I had better news for you. This is a look outside right now. Got a cruise ship coming in. Unfortunately, their weekend, it's okay. It's not awful. It's not great. It's somewhere in between. Some clouds around today. We had some rain showers out there this morning, but now mostly dry. A couple showers popping up in the mountains. And as we go through this weekend, that'll pretty much be the trend. Cloudy with a couple chances of showers both Saturday and into the day on Sunday too. You can see more moisture off to our south and west, and some of that is headed our way for this weekend. The other thing we're watching is some fog. We have a dense fog advisory for Knox and Waldo counties. This is overnight tonight and until 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. Could be some pretty dense fog right along the immediate coast. Our high temperatures today, we're able to make it only to the low to mid 70s, so a couple degrees below normal for this time of year. Tomorrow, pretty similar to this, but then a big change. We're going to start to warm up quite a bit. During the day on Sunday, we should make it into the upper 70s and lower 80s, but later in the week, or in the beginning of next week, things are going to warm up quite a bit. We're talking close to 90, and it's going to be humid too. These are our dew points right now. They're right around 60 degrees, so starting to feel a little bit sticky, but dew points will get close to 70 by next Monday and Tuesday, guys, and pair that with about 90 degrees. Summer's back. Looks like it's going to be here for at least a few more days.
All right, we'll take it. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right, let's check some headlines this evening. A medical examiner has officially ruled the cause of Jeffrey Epstein's death is indeed suicide.
The autopsy report says the accused sex trafficker hanged himself in his jail cell. The correctional facility where Epstein was being held is under investigation. In other headlines now, beginning in Portsmouth, New Hampshire.
Yeah, we have a follow-up to a hit and run. Police are asking for anybody who saw this to give them a call because a pedestrian was hit. They say it happened near 1840 Woodbury Avenue, which is right next to a Verizon store there in Portsmouth. The police department tweeted that a young woman was hit by a car. This is around 1 a.m. and then left on the street unconscious with serious injuries. So if you have any information, please call the police there.
Unemployment numbers are in and they are low. The Maine Department of Labor says the state's rate dipped to a record low based on preliminary figures for July. The seasonally adjusted rate was 3%. That's down from 3.4% in the same period this time a year ago. And that's 43 straight months that Maine's unemployment rate has been below 4%, and that's a record too. The New England rate for July is also 3%. Vermont's is 2.1, New Hampshire 2.5, and Massachusetts 2.9. But Rhode Island and Connecticut are 3.5 and 3.6% respectively. Here's a new one to file under. There's an app for that. Researchers at the University of Maine want you to help them protect the monarch butterfly.
Using the mobile app Collector Classic, okay? Anybody can visit potential monarch butterfly resting sites. All these pins on that map represent just where those little beauties sleep at night. So if you see a monarch, you can go to the app where you'll find a short survey you fill out, and you'll become part of a research team reporting on habitat. Researchers say they believe this app will help them learn more about monarch behavior in an attempt to protect them.
This project is trying to understand where you see them and where there potentially could be habitat to support them. Any information that we can get about both the habitat and where people are seeing monarchs will be helpful. So, and you know, this gives an opportunity for people to participate in science.
Now, if you're interested in helping with the research, you can search Monarch Model Validator on the university website. Okay.
Very cool. There you can find a username and password that will let you into the app.
We're going to squeeze in a break here. Coming up, Dale Earnhardt Jr. and his family are recovering after a frightening plane crash. We'll have the latest details on that coming right up.
And we are not for sale. That's the message Greenland is giving to President Trump. We'll explain why next. Hey everybody, so of course this is something that a lot of you are talking about. First up, we have one viewer, Tammy, who says there is a need for services in northern Maine, you know, the caregiver support groups. Do you see different regions of our state? It's such a big state where there certainly more help could definitely be there.
Well, absolutely. And given the rural nature of Maine, what are we, the most rural or second most rural
Yeah.
in the country, or a state in the country? There is a need for finding those local age-friendly communities, as I said, where there are local volunteer type efforts, because even an agency like ours can't possibly cover an entire county like Aroostook County.
Right. That's going to be the hardest.
They do a great job up there.
Are they?
But, absolutely. Every county, as you may know in the state, is covered by an area agency on aging.
Right.
So the one in Aroostook covers the entire county.
Yeah.
I mean, the volunteer effort just must be massive. It has to be.
Well, it has to be. We have over 600 volunteers just here in the York, Cumberland counties working on all kinds of volunteer efforts for our agency, including our Age Well program, where we have matter balance class that we do. I teach a Tai Chi for health and balance class.
That's great.
These are all mostly volunteer-led efforts. And so we have well, of course, you know, the Meals on Wheels program. We have huge volunteer efforts on all of these agencies. We're very fortunate that we have so many committed volunteers.
And that's why Maine is ranked so highly in the
It is clearly
Eldercare.
Well, clearly one of the reasons. And we also market, you know, not we, but the state of Maine markets to folks to come retire in Maine. So we have Mainers,
which is what you tried to do, but then you got working again.
Right.
You know, we did actually just get a message about this as well. And this is the second time I've heard this come up today. There are concerns about, you know, accusations of abuse and neglect that happen in nursing homes. Is that something that the Agency on Aging keeps on their radar?
We refer to legal services for the elderly. That's probably the best place to address issues like that.
Yeah, okay, very good. How much did Alex say we have?
We're
under 30?
We're ready to go.
Okay. Thank you, Doug.
Yeah,
That's all the time we have. We appreciate it.
So much.
Thank you guys for your questions. Doug, feel free to leave your microphone on that glass table. Or Alex can take it. Yeah. Thank you. Cool. Are we here? I don't know where I'm going.
I think so. I was wondering where you were going too.
I'm used to moving.
All right, we're back with stories making headlines around the nation. According to the Department of Commerce, the number of newly built homes dropped about 4% last month.
That's the third straight month of declines, mostly driven by a steep decrease in the construction of multifamily units. Economists polled by Reuters predicted that housing starts would actually edge up in July. At the same time, applications for residential building permits, an indication of future construction, rose to a 7-month high. Experts say that the Northeast saw the sharpest decline in housing starts, as well as those building permits.
NASCAR fans, Dale Earnhardt Jr. won't be in the broadcast booth for the Cup race at Bristol Motor Speedway in Tennessee this weekend. Dale Jr. and his wife Amy and their daughter Isla were in a private jet that crashed at the end of a runway and burst into flames late yesterday in Tennessee. They all made it out safely, as did the two pilots. Dale Jr. did briefly go to the hospital, but he's since been released. As for the jet, it slammed into a fence and then caught fire. No word on what caused that crash, but it is under investigation. And Dale Jr. is expected back behind the microphone at the next scheduled race in a week.
Unbelievable looking at those images, knowing that they're okay.
Yeah, they all walked away.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, but must be so kind of flustered by the whole thing, and would be for a while. This is interesting. Greenland's foreign minister said today that her country is open for business, but it's not for sale.
The Wall Street Journal first reported that President Trump had brought up the idea of buying Greenland with his advisors. Some advisors considered it a joke, but Mr. Trump kept bringing the idea up. Greenland is a self-ruling part of Denmark. President Trump is scheduled to visit Denmark next month, but there's no indication that he'll bring up this question then. Greenland has garnered the attention of the world's superpowers because of its strategic location and natural resources.
And Twitter is taking another step toward detecting potentially offensive content. The company announced today that it is testing a filter for direct messages that contain offensive material, and those messages are flagged from people you're not following, will be stored away in a folder marked additional messages. Users can then choose to view or delete those, so you never actually have to see them. All right, there are rumors on social media that the controversial citizenship question actually made it onto the 2020 census. So coming up, we're going to verify that.
Also, what does the weekend weather have in store for us? Jess Conley is going to fill us in. Jess, that's really cute. It's a joke. Can you?
One raindrop say to the other. What? Two's company, three's a cloud.
I love it. Linda
I like
says,
the little dance you did afterward the best.
Yeah. Linda says families need to care for their loved ones. And that's a lot of it. I do think there's also a sense of pride that goes into it too. Families feeling that they need to take care of their own and that sort of thing. And that's why maybe they hold off on assisted living or...
You know, it's fun. It's interesting. I put this out on my page, my Facebook page earlier too.
Yeah.
And got a lot of people commenting and a lot of people saying how hard it is, but yet they'd do it all over again if they had to. And that's exactly how I feel when we had my mom at our house. It is hard, and but you know, they took care of you. It's varying degrees of hard though too. But for some people, you know, they're caring for both their mom and dad, or you know, and somebody else. And there was one person who said they have 5 generations in one house. And you know, that can be really, really challenging.
That can be 5 generations in under one roof.
Yeah.
That's a lot. When you were caring for your mom, were you also still caring for your kids, or were they kind of grown at that point?
They were grown. I mean, they were. Well, Xander was, I think, was Noah still in high school? No. Noah was in college, and Xander was already out of college. But I think he was living at home at the time. So no, not really.
Yeah. We'll be by the windows.
Okay, we gotta go.
All right, we're taking a walk, Facebook.
But they were very involved, I will say. You know, they lived close, and they were very involved in her
And
being
helping.
home.
Yeah.
And just even if they weren't doing the labor of it all, just having them around was super helpful.
The comic relief from Xander, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, she just loved my guys.
Yeah.
So.
Aw, that's so sweet. Jess, you're getting some love for your joke. Sweet. Oh, this side?
Doesn't matter.
Oh, okay.
You're good.
What side am I usually on?
Looks like you're doing a step class.
I know, right? And 1, and 2, and 3, and 4.
Usually on the right.
On the right.
Yep. All right, we got 10s.
A question on the U.S. 2020 Census asking if you are a U.S. citizen was blocked by the Supreme Court, but claims continue to pop up about it online.
Yeah, people say it's still there, so we had to verify.
We're tackling a claim about the citizenship question on the U.S. Census. For a little background, the idea proposed by the Trump administration would have added a question that asked whether people responding were a U.S. citizen or not. After a lengthy debate that wound up with the Supreme Court blocking it, the Trump administration dropped the question from the 2020 census. But not according to this claim. It claims to show a clip from the current census form that asks if the person answering is a citizen. Down to its source, a real document provided by the Census Bureau. It does ask if the person is a citizen of the United States, but scroll to the top, and it's not the 2020 census form, it's the 2019 American Community Survey form. What's the difference? Well, according to the Census Bureau, the American Community Survey is sent out every year separate from the census. It was actually created to shorten the overall census form. The long-form questions that used to be sent with the census now come in the form of this American Community Survey. It's been sent out to a randomly selected number of households in the U.S. since 2000. There's also another separate form that has been sent to some American households, this form. It's a test form sent ahead of the 2020 census, and it was printed and mailed before the Supreme Court decision, meaning it still has the citizenship question on it. But bottom line, neither the American Community Survey nor the census test form sent out are what will show up on the 2020 census form. Those haven't been sent yet. And to go one step further, this is the 2020 census form, or an informational copy provided by the Census Bureau. You can scan all the way through its 8 pages, and there's no citizenship question. So this image claiming a citizenship question is currently on the 2020 census form is false. Got any other claims for us to look into? Send us an email. With your Verify, I'm Jason Puckett.
All right, so you can put that to rest. Hey, check this out. There are times we all need a friend. Sometimes we even need a wingman.
Look at these amazing pictures. A Maine eagle found his wingman in an eastern kingbird. The pair took flight over Little Sebago Lake. Mark Strong from Auburn sent us these photos. He took them while kayaking out on the lake Thursday. How cute is that?
Wow.
That's cool.
It's cute until the eagle gets really hungry.
Yeah, right.
Right?
Yeah, that's cute. That's a cool photo, though.
It reminds me
Great
of this
picture.
scene in Finding Nemo when all the other little critters get on top of the big sea turtle.
Yes,
It's
yeah.
like that.
That's like my
come
favorite
on.
scene in the whole movie. Yes. Oh my gosh.
Like, come on, let's
I
go
love
off.
that. They're buds.
Forecast.
They're probably just buds. Yeah. So the forecast this weekend is like not awful, but it's also not one of these great weekends that we've had all summer.
spoiled.
I know. We totally have been. So it's going to be okay, though. Not a total washout or anything like that. So let's look at the radar right now. We had some showers this morning. They did move a little bit farther to the south and east than certainly what we've been thinking for the past couple of days. However, now mostly dry. A few showers popping up just to the north of Greenville. We still have some clouds around too, and that'll be the trend really as we go throughout the weekend. Mostly cloudy skies both Saturday and Sunday, and the chances there for some showers and storms. We'll go through the details in just a second. You can see off to our south and west there is some more rain, and yes, some of that is on the way for us. Right now, temperature's not too bad. It's a little on the cool side though. 66 now in Rockland, 74 in Bangor, down to 69 currently in Portland, and temperatures are going to have a tough time warming up tomorrow, mainly because the clouds will be around for most of the morning. This is tonight, not too bad out there, just a few more showers, but you can see by tomorrow morning those clouds really thickening up, so temperatures just going to really struggle to make it into the 70s. Most of us should make it into the low, possibly some mid 70s around too, and again some spotty showers possible mainly as we head into tomorrow afternoon and evening. Then for the day on Sunday, again, we'll have mostly cloudy skies. I think we will see a few more sunny breaks for the day on Sunday. Temperatures starting in the low to mid 60s. Then as we warm up through the afternoon, I think it'll get a little bit warmer into those mid to upper 70s by Sunday afternoon. However, there is a better chance, you can see it here, of some rain showers and possibly even a few thunderstorms for Sunday afternoon and evening. By Monday, another chance for some showers, but temperatures are really going to change as we head into early next week. Let's first talk about the humidity though. Those dew points are going up too. Dew point today around 60 or so. By tomorrow we'll be in the mid 60s, then upper 60s, then dew points close to 70 for both Monday and Wednesday. So you are really going to notice the humidity out there. One of the reasons is that we'll have so much rain around, a chance for showers on Monday. Tuesday does look dry, however, then another chance for showers as we head into the day on Wednesday. So here's your marine forecast for tomorrow. Seas for, around 2 feet, winds from the southeast at about 5 to 10. And here's your extended forecast for tomorrow. Again, cloudy, couple sprinkles possible. Then on Sunday, a better chance for seeing those showers and a few thunderstorms. Another chance for showers and storms on Monday. I know, keeps dragging on, but look at the temperatures. Mid 80s at the coast on Monday and Tuesday. Away from the coast will be closer to 90. Finally, some sun though by Tuesday. A good amount of sun. Looks pretty nice.
All right.
All right.
You got to wait it out a little bit.
Yeah, we'll get there.
All right. Good.
Thanks,
Thanks, Jess.
Well, this weekend marks 50 years since the famous Woodstock Music Festival, but did you know it almost didn't happen?
I thought you were going to ask me if I was there, and no, I wasn't. I was alive, but just barely. The 3 days of peace and music, of course, brought 500,000 people to Woodstock, New York, for legendary performances. A lot more than that say they were there. But a month before the concert was supposed to begin, there was really no place to hold it. One of Woodstock's co-founders, Michael Lang, says it was a miracle it all came together. He tells NBC's Harry Smith that the credit goes to a farmer who owned the concert land, really just for being an unlikely ally in their big dream.
And he was a Republican, pro-war, pro that war, not pro war, but pro that war. And
Yeah.
he said that's what we're fighting for, is people to be able to do things like this.
What an idea, though, that you would find that one guy.
Absolutely. It was miraculous.
So tonight on NBC Nightly News, Harry Smith is going to have more on what surprised Lang about Woodstock. Interesting. All right, there's a lot more news coming up this evening on News Center at 5:30. Parents, it may be hard to believe, but it is time to start thinking about getting the kids back to school, and that means starting to plan for maybe what to pack for snacks. Cameron O'Brien is going to have some tips on how to keep the snacks delicious but also healthy.
Very important. Also, we all know how the Bruins season ended, but that didn't stop Maine fans from celebrating their favorite hockey team today. We'll bring you all the excitement from FanFest. Those stories and much more coming up in our next half hour. We are back after this. I'll see you down there in a bit.
Alrighty. In a half hour.
See you in a half hour.
Yeah.
Alex, am I bringing my thingy?
Yeah.
Okay.
There is one down there, but you can just keep using that one.
All right. Bring in my thingy.
I know, Fred, those were really incredible photographs. Also, brave of Mark Strong to be bringing his camera out on his kayak. I'd be worried about
that. Any idea
that.
where we are time-wise? Have I got time to pee or no?
Yeah, Teresa, I'm getting over a cold. All good. Thanks for the well wishes. So yeah. This weekend is Clear the Shelters weekend. We're going to have the details on that coming up at the end of the show. Let's see. Oh, this isn't updating. Here we go. DDD. So yeah, we're about to bring you more about this, but this weekend is Clear the Shelters. Adoption centers across the region, so not just in Maine, are going to help you take home your forever pet by a couple of cool incentives. Thank you, Jeff. Where is Dustin? He's gone. Hey, Eddie. It's almost time for Clear the Shelters. You can go to adoption centers across New England to adopt a furry friend, or if you're like the person you're about to meet, two. NECN's Dustin Vladkowski introduces us to cats Sunny and Joey to explain why Maine needs more cat moms and dads.
Playful, curious companions. How Janice Misakio describes her babies, Joey and Sunny.
Sunny's a little more serious. He's the one that wants to open all the cupboard doors, and Joey's a little crazy one. And the two of them will run around like crazy too. Adopting is great. I mean, there's so many cats and dogs out there that need a home.
Which is why Janice hopes folks show up for Clear the Shelters, like she did last year at the Animal Refuge League of Greater Portland.
I had done a 5K in the morning. I just looked that up and came home, and I knew they were having a Clear the Shelter day, and I decided, I'm going to go over and check it out because I've been looking for a few months for young cats.
She waited at our door in line very early in the morning.
Shelter spokeswoman Gina Roth who says 2019 is Year of the Cat.
We are going big for cats on Clear the Shelters this year. Any cat in our care over the age of 1 will be name your own fee. So our goal is to get as many cats in our care happy and loving homes on Clear the Shelter Day.
The reason, Maine's high number of rural shelter cats. Some, like this fuzzball right here, get sent south from places 5 hours away to a spot where more adopters live.
We welcome cats here to the NLR Beach League to find homes in the greater Portland community.
Homes like this one. But Janice can't take any more kitties. She's already got 4. That's why we're asking for your help to put pen to paper and find these felines warm, loving families.
I love having cats. I can't imagine not having any animal in the house. It would be too quiet.
In Westbrook, Maine, Dustin Blikowski, NECN.
What a sweet photo there, so cuddly. That does it for us on Now. News Center Maine at 5:30 begins right now.
Coming up tonight on News Center at 5:30, Shabig Island did it. Peaks Island.
The reality, and it's stupid.
Is President Trump serious about wanting to buy Greenland? Greenland residents react, wanting the president to know you can't buy another country. Plus, we'll go to Texas to see a massive beehive. It's so big it's caught the eye of scientists and neighbors who say they'd like it moved. The news starts right now.
And good evening, everybody. I'm Lee Nelson. Cindy's off tonight. Could a Maine island secede and become its own town? Some people on Great Diamond Island in Casco Bay want that to happen. They want to leave the city of Portland. NECN and our own Dustin Blikowski has more on why.
Humid, salty air hangs over Great Diamond Island, the place Chris Mooney calls home.
It's very quiet, especially if you're year-round.
Which